What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. So, Deontay Wilder, he has a situation where, for people who were too ignorant years ago, for people who were too ignorant even more recently, to understand what was being said about Wilder's resume, what was being said about where he stands as a fighter. People are trying to defend the backlash, but you actually don't have a leg to stand on. This is the type of things that we talk about, and the ending results, okay? What I mean is, when you look at his career and you sum it all up, people can say, but what about, whatever he might accomplish from now until his last fight, okay? Whatever that will be, we'll see. Now, for any fighter, you are only as good as you are. Fans, spectators, a lot of times will try to attach the Incredible Hulk or Superman attachments to you when really you're just a human being. That's all. That's all. So, let's look at this. When I talked about the Big Four last time, okay, which was Wilder, AJ, Fury, and Usyk. Let me put it to you this way. Out of all of them, Usyk is more impressive because he's undefeated. He's beaten, AJ and Fury both twice. All right. People are still sitting here trying to say, oh, but Wilder still might have a chance because he got the power and blah, 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 and all that. You guys have more faith in Wilder than he has in himself. And I think that the majority of the people saying that are the people that feel like that fight will never happen. There's no reason for it to happen. Now, Wilder is fighting this guy, Curtis Harper, who was ranked 148 in the world. Remember I said, because Wilder fans are saying, oh, but Wilder, what's his name? Efe Ajagba sucks because, man, he got power, but he don't know how to use it. He's easy to hit and all these things that these are Wilder fans. And the reason that they were saying this is because, like myself, there was another channel where someone said, they probably saw my video, to be honest with you, but they also said Wilder could fight somebody like Efe Ajagba. And remember, I said Frank Sanchez is also coming off of a loss. Now, because this generation is so pussy, let's just say it like it is, because everything is, I just came off a loss, I got to fight somebody coming off of a loss. This is the loser mentality that fighters and their fans have for them. But anyway, and I said, if Efe Ajagba is such garbage, well, why didn't Wilder fight him? And it's crazy because if you think Efe Ajagba is garbage and Wilder's fighting somebody ranked 148, well, damn, we have to find a new word for Curtis Harper. So, here's the funny thing. Of all people, who's fighting Efe Ajagba? Martin Bakole. Go figure. Well, let me say this. When you sum up Deontay Wilder's career, and you look at who he beat and who's beating him, Deontay Wilder, I don't care about his knockout ratio. People from this generation will be delusional enough to try to rank him high because they don't know any better. The only people that's going to try to hold on to an AJ, a Fury, or a Wilder to rank them as all-time greats are people who feel like they can still benefit from them, or just diehard blind fans. Because, listen, quality opponents, the caliber of fighters that you're getting in the ring with. When you look at Wilder's career, you're going to say, you know what? Wilder never beat a top-level guy. He never beat an actual champion, somebody that was really, no, he beat Bermane Stiverne, but we're talking about, hell, we've had a couple people in boxing had belts, and it was like they did nothing with them. These guys was garbage. They were trash fighters. Let's just say it like it is. Never did much of shit. and pretty much got belts off technicalities by being placed in the right type of fights against the right opponents. Things happen. Okay, but when you look at the best people that he beat on his resume, the biggest win he has on his entire resume is against a pretty much battle-tested but beat-up, injury-prone Chris Arreola and Luis Ortiz. Those are the two biggest wins on his resume. And Bermane Stiverne pretty much is always one-dimensional, and it's nothing against him personally. I just never understood why I've heard people say things like Bermane Stiverne is an excellent boxer. Excellent? What? Excellent at what? He's barely even good at anything. Excellent. I mean, the dude wasn't dedicated. He was fat, sloppy, out of shape. And I believe once he finally beat Chris Arreola and got the title and held it and lost it on his very first defense and got all the tears out, he became the first and only Haitian heavyweight boxing champion. And I just feel like it's like, okay, mission accomplished, and now what? I mean, people will say things to praise a fighter, and they were this. I've never seen anything excellent about Bermane Stiverne. Nothing. But anyway, so those are the top 3 wins on his resume. Okay. Look at who he lost to. Look, he lost to guys that Anthony Joshua already beat. You understand what I'm saying? He lost to guys like, and then look at who he hasn't fought. And it's when he stepped up in competition, it's when he lost. And when you look at a guy like Joseph Parker, and I remember the conversations, a lot of people were saying, it's like Joseph Parker fell off, man. Like, what happened to this guy? All of a sudden, he has 3 quiet wins over guys, over lesser opponents, and all of a sudden, he's a sacrificial lamb for Wilder. No different from when, what's the bald guy that he knocked out in the first round? That was his sparring partner. Same thing. Oh, he's coming off of 3 big wins. Let's stop pumping it up. He's coming off of 3 wins, not 3 big wins. 3 wins. Nobody even knew that this guy fought. Okay? And basically, Joseph Parker was looked at like, he's done. And Joseph Parker went there and schooled Wilder. Okay? Zhang, of course, AJ beat him in the amateurs. But, just saying, it's like, AJ beat Parker when they were champions. And at the end of the day, it's like Wilder fought these guys later. Wilder, you just can say, okay, he was, like I said, he beat the guys he beat, but he didn't even, just think, as long as he held that belt, if you compare his resume to AJ's, it's like, wow, why you never fought Dillian White? Why take you so long to finally fight Joseph Parker? And he sat there and said Joseph Parker was ducking him and all these things. There's always somebody's ducking him. But when he gets in there with top level guys, you see what happens. Oh, but he's old. And, right, I know, like Usyk. Right. They try the same shit with Fury. When you look at Fury's career and you look at who he's beaten and you look at who he's lost to, it's clear. Like, no, he wasn't the best guy. And if you sit there and want to start to break fighters down, like all this shit that they said was working in Fury's favor. His height, his weight, his reach, his boxing ability, and how small Usyk was. Usyk came up to heavyweight like Holyfield did. He's not big enough. You're going to see Fury dominate. And where did all that go? Now, if they would have never fought, general consensus would have said Fury wins. I want Usyk to win, but I think Fury wins. Then you got the Fury fans that just automatically, they would have said if Fury would have beat him, he'd have been too big. Now, this is the same shit that they say about him versus Ali or anybody else of that size. What do you mean? Usyk is no bigger than those guys. And even for Usyk to walk around 230-something pounds, okay, cool. Anybody can put weight on. I mean, Muhammad Ali did as well as he got older. No difference. And that's all you see on Usyk is just weight from getting older. But it doesn't bring any more, he doesn't have any more power by coming in heavier. His skills is what got him through that fight, is what got him. And the thing about it, even for Fury to talk about how he knows Usyk don't like body shots and this and that, where was the aggression? Where was all that? Fury's going to be Fury's already been. I saw this in Fury. You guys could look and you go back in my archives and you'll say, damn, Aries was saying this shit way before, even before Fury even lost. He been saying this shit about Tyson Fury. I told you, I see weaknesses in Tyson Fury's game. No, you don't have to be just as big as him, rangy as him, or tall as him to beat him. Fury has holes in his game, and I told you, two of his biggest fucking flaws that I see in him is, see, what people don't understand, carrying all that extra weight against Wilder worked because Wilder can't box, and basically Wilder made it easier for Fury to be able to do what he was doing, because basically, unless you stand there and get careless and Wilder catch you sleeping, because he can catch you sleeping, okay, other than that, Wilder doesn't know how to set traps. Wilder doesn't know how to find openings. He doesn't know how to control the distance. Wilder doesn't know how to control the range. He doesn't know how to do any of that shit. None of it. None of it. And basically, if you watch Wilder, you know that he goes straight back in a straight line. When he gets to the corner, he goes straight back. He just walking all four corners of the ring. He has no footwork whatsoever, nothing. That's why I said, look at the little shit that you see him doing with Malik Scott in training, the little weird moves, and you never see him do this shit in an actual fight. So, when you look at Fury, the same thing. The ones that's honest is going to say, man, you know something, Fury really, for his generation, he was one of the top guys. Same with AJ. AJ got the skills. AJ just is not consistent enough. And when you doubt yourself, and when you go in there and it's like you were waiting for Wilder to peak. Nah, he don't need to peak. He got that right hand. Okay, now you see it come back to haunt him. Now let's look at AJ though. AJ was fighting nothing but the top dudes, but AJ at the same time ran into a confidence issue. And bottom line is, you don't know when that shit's gonna come out. Now imagine somebody going, oh, AJ would have been too big for Ali. Are you fucking kidding me, man? Are you kidding me? I heard Lennox Lewis say that bullshit before, saying he think Ali and them just would have been a little too small. Like, nah, Lewis, you tripping. You forget that you fought Holyfield. Yeah, and Holyfield gave you trouble. So, are you shitting me? Now imagine Muhammad Ali and then fighting against Anthony Joshua. And Ali's dancing and talking to him and popping the shit out of him, and AJ can't catch him. When he's punching, Ali's making a miss. Ali's countering the shit out of him. You know, Ali's in his ear talking shit, and AJ's getting more frustrated because now he doesn't realize, I gotta rough Ali up the best way I can. I can't stand here and try to outbox him. I can't keep up with his movements. What happens when he catch Ali with a good shot, even if he's able to catch him? But let's say if he does, and Ali shake his head, that's all you got, sucker? Yeah. What's going to happen now? What's going to happen now? I mean, so we know, I never bought into that bullshit anyway. You know, like I said before, I said, you know, for Tyson Fury to beat a guy like Joe Frazier, if he win, it's going to be a boring ass fight. And I feel like his length and his size, his reach, him just leaning back and trying to stay away. See, here's the problem, though. Joe's not going to stop. Fury don't have the kind of power Joe really got to worry about. You understand what I mean? And at the same time, when he's putting that pressure on and coming in, ripping his body and coming in and up and down and making Fury miss, making Fury fight more than he wants, what happens when Fury starts sucking wind? I told y'all, I don't see these heavyweights the way I see the heavyweights of the 80s, 90s, and 70s. I told y'all that already. I've been told y'all this shit. These dudes, when you look at them and you break them down, they're going to look at AJ and they're going to say, I still have AJ as higher than Wilder. With Wilder, it's if he can knock AJ out, because he can't outbox AJ. And is AJ going to show up somehow and have a confidence issue? Like, you can't overlook these things. Fury, okay, although he beat Wilder twice, you know, had a draw with him, he never fought AJ. And he didn't want to fight AJ. And when you fight somebody that you don't want to fight, that can backfire. So when you look at these guys, and the thing about it is AJ, you can combine Fury and Wilder fights, and AJ still has a better resume. And bottom line is, because Fury beat Wilder, I'm not fighting AJ. What did he say? He said, this man beat AJ twice. I beat Wilder twice. And what that got to do with you beating AJ? And now he goes, only rate he's going to fight AJ, $500 million. Why the fuck would anybody pay you $500 million? Why would they even pay you 50 fucking million? You got beat by the same guy that he got beat by twice. Why would they pay you for what? Just to see two guys fight? What? They're not even paying champions that much money. They're going to pay you and AJ, they're going to pay you 500. So what they going to pay AJ if they're going to give you 500 million? Nah. And those guys, they always fought for money. Everybody. But those guys wanted to be the best. And they wasn't afraid to go in there and put themselves through that type of punishment to get the win. And you got fighters that's determined like that, and all you care about is money. It's not the same. When you break them down and you look at who's who, I don't think any real, like, anybody that thinks with logic and reason is shocked by Wilder's opponent. This is what Wilder is used to. And Wilder is obviously not nearly as confident that he can beat a FA or Frank Sanchez or Caballero or somebody like that, or he'd be fighting them. Hell, he could even fight, what's the kid's name? The American dude with the break, Jermaine Franklin. Why not Jermaine Franklin? Hell, why not Jared Anderson? No, he takes a guy ranked 148 in the world. And that's by design. That's by design. That all being said, Deontay Wilder knows he can't afford to lose another fight. I don't understand how this is a confidence builder, though, fighting someone that you know is garbage in the ring. Fighting a man that we all saw get in the ring with Efe Ajagba, wait for the bell to ring, and then walked out. And, you know, the bullshit about the money and this and that and whatever. The guy's ranked number 148 and has like 11 losses. I mean, like, for him to choose this opponent, this is an opponent that he's supposed to go in there and squash. And then pretty much Wilder's back. And how does this put you back in title contention? What happens? What is beating a guy like this? We're sitting here telling Jaron Boots Ennis, you need to go to 154 and finally fight Ortiz and you know, try to unify and become undisputed at 154. Why? He's not able to get the fights at 147 that he wants. That's what he said out of his own mouth. So he's going to go to 154. Now all of a sudden he's backtracking. Now, if we're talking about him going to fight Ortiz, right? How the fuck is this guy going to sit up here, you know, and fight a guy ranked 148? What I'm telling you guys is plain and simple. None of these guys are what you think they are. None of these guys are what people want them to be. And the reality is, for you to, you know, become a better fighter, for you to, like we say, iron sharpens iron, you don't become a better fighter. You don't, like I said, beating a D-class fighter doesn't put you, you know, make you any better to go up against an A-class fighter or a B-class fighter. You fighting someone of this caliber is going to do nothing for Wilder. This isn't going to do shit for his confidence. And it'll be deja vu. Okay, I can beat a guy on this level. Now all of a sudden I'm standing across the ring from a top level guy. And all of a sudden the fight's hard for him. And next thing you know, Wilder's getting knocked out again. Like, this is what people don't seem to understand. So this whole move for him fighting this guy, disassociating himself with Turki Al-Sheikh for this particular fight, why you think that is? Like I told y'all, it got too hot in the kitchen. But when I'm reading comments that people are saying about Wilder, even like his fans are starting to, they're continuing to be irritated with him, and they're saying shit like, I can't believe this motherfucker's fighting this guy, this and that. And it's like, you know what's funny? I put up Wilder's career while he was champion, how he was fighting guys ranked 500, 400, 300, all that. Why are you guys shocked? This is what he's been doing the whole time. So once he, you know, got in there with guys like Ortiz or Fury or whatever, and, you know, like, when you look at that, Joseph Parker, Zay, look at his career. You guys were purposely overlooking the opponents that Wilder was fighting. You didn't care about the opponents he was fighting because you told yourself it don't matter if he fight number 1 or number 100. He got the right hand. He'll knock them all out. What did 7-8 Sports tell Deontay Wilder the very next day when he interviewed him? Man, I think you get in there like, a couple of tune-up fights, man. You know what I'm saying? You'll be right back to where you were. Nobody could touch you, man. And Wilder, exactly. What happened? He came back in there and he got knocked out by Zhang. And the excuses about it wasn't fair that they put you in the ring with the guy that was active and you wasn't active. Okay, Wilder doesn't know that. Malik Scott doesn't know that. And this is the same guy that said what applies to other fighters don't necessarily apply to me. I got a blessing and a curse in the right hand. Now, when the right hand fails you, what else did you have to lean on? And this is what we've been telling you guys for the longest. Instead of acting so shocked and playing stupid like y'all don't know better, and basically you don't. The problem is people are not being honest. If you were honest with yourself, you would say, you know what? This is exactly what people was talking about. Him not fighting the type of fights that he should. He was able to start making millions without doing it, and pretty much it just came back to haunt him, because now, in terms of him stepping up in competition, well, when he finally did it, look at what happened to him. And we making excuses about his age and whatever and all. Like, no. Right now, the same thing. Y'all saying that the best fighter in the world, ranked pound for pound, is 37 years old. Okay? Usyk is 38 years old. Wilder's 38, 39 years old. Whatever. Okay? So it's funny, even like with Fury. They went, Fury's age caught up with him. Fury's younger than Usyk. All of these things that people say, it doesn't change anything. Y'all know the heavyweight that I want to see beat everybody is Anthony Joshua. Am I going to sit here like I'm on crack and sit here and try to tell you, make excuses for AJ or try to just keep hope alive? And no, that's not what it's about. It doesn't matter what anybody say cheering for you or criticizing you. What matters is when you get in the ring. Now, when criticism or praise come from the facts and what you see the results in the ring, that's something completely different, because you're speaking off what you see. Now, when you look, and like I told you guys, looking at the Wallin fight, looking at the Ngannou fight, AJ was looking like he was back. Now, can a motherfucker have a bad night? Yeah. But at the same time, no, we're not going to, every time somebody loses, it was a bad night. No, he got his ass whooped by Dubois, and he needs to show what he's made of if he's going to come back. That whole, I know I have the heart. Like, even just the way he said it, so sympathetic for himself. It was like I said before, you try to convince yourself or us, because, man, when you go in that ring and you have to put it together, you have to go in there and go through the storm, and you look at fighters who fought far better competition and never been knocked out. You understand what I'm saying? Ain't no way. There's no fucking way. So I don't care which one of them you talking about. All of these guys. But let me say this. One thing about AJ, even with the loss, AJ still doing nothing but fighting top guys. So even with the Franklin fight and the bald guy, whatever, yeah, it still came down to the fact of, like, AJ wants to fight the best guys. And my thing is, like I said, if there's no improvement in what you're doing, it's better to take lesser opponents so you can work on different things. That's all a part of the game. The difference with AJ and Wilder, the situation with them is always their fans comparing the two and wanting, each side wanting to be able to say, claim superiority over the other fighter. That's bullshit, though. It's bullshit. The reason that these fighters, like I said, are in the position that they're in of not peaking, or they peak and they don't get better. Like, they peak early and it's like, damn, so this person's best. And this is what I'm saying. When you go back and look, you're gonna realize, like, yeah, his better years was from this year to this year, and when he did this, when he did that. And you know what? There's no way that you can put any one of them as an all-time great. There's no way you're gonna have a 6'9", 270 fucking pound, longest reach in boxing history, and this motherfucker gets in there and he doesn't know. Like I said, the shit that he did. Think about this: the best fighter that he got in the ring with was Usyk and Klitschko. All he did was run from Klitschko. What the fuck happened with Klitschko that night? I don't know, because Fury wasn't doing shit but running. He did no damage to Klitschko. All he did was run. And then I think the last two rounds when Klitschko started to wake up, they're like, where was this earlier, right? So basically it's like, and he never gave him the rematch. Okay, Fury was another excuse maker and trying to self-pity and, I wanted to commit suicide and I was obese. It's what I'm telling you, man. All of this bullshit. And you try to put these guys on pedestals. So when you look at that and then look at what happened when he fought against Usyk. He's calling this guy middleweight. He's too small, blah, blah, blah. Remember all that talk? Anthony Joshua let the foreigner come over here and take the belts. Now I got to clean up his mess and bring the titles back to the UK. He's a failure. He can't compete with the elite. What happened, Fury? What happened? So this is what I'm saying. When you look at who's who and you look at people like from a logical, truthful standpoint, there's no way that you can look at these guys and not realize, like, man, you know what? Fuck all of this trying to be biased because they're from this era and I'm from this era, or I like this guy better than this guy. Let's look at it for what it really is, man. The fighters that you like are not what you thought they were. And when I told you guys, even before Anthony Joshua lost, I told you guys, I don't think he's as polished as Lennox Lewis. I see, things that he need to work on, but hopefully, hey, man, he'll work it out. But right, what happened? Now, I could sit here and just be biased and say, he needs work. There's things that he has in his arsenal. The biggest thing with AJ is not even his skill set, man. So it is and it isn't. The problem is his mindset. That's his biggest problem. And the thing about it is, when you get in the tough fight and you got to scrap back and forth, like we seen when Lewis got knocked out by Oliver McCall, it was one punch. It came out of nowhere. It was a hard shot, and he knocked Lewis the fuck out. Lewis came back. He corrected that wrong. He beat Oliver McCall up. Oliver McCall quit. He got knocked out. One punch, Hasan Rahman. He came back. He corrected that, and he knocked Rahman out. Okay, both fights where he came back and avenged his loss, he came back and looked dominant. When AJ lost to Andy Ruiz, he came back and he completely outclassed him, put on a masterclass, boxing. Now, it wasn't like he just unleashed a whole crazy arsenal of punches. He beat him with the jab, the right hand. And he pretty much repetitive, whooped his ass, and he got his win back. Now, the thing about it is, I believe AJ probably got to that point where he starts thinking about people being, becoming brain dead and being, damaged from boxing and taking too many punches. And he pretty much has said it. And I don't know. It's like something happened inside of AJ's head where he just wasn't the same dude anymore. And when he lost to Usyk both times, the same thing. We like, AJ's fighting himself in there, man. He just won't let go of that bullshit. You can't come into the hurt business. All right? You think if you become a dog catcher, all the dogs that you go to catch is going to be friendly and gentle? Nah, you're going to have some Siberian fucking huskies and, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have these pit bulls, and you're going to have some big, strong-ass dogs that's not willing to comply. And guess what? You have to be prepared to do your job. You don't come into the hurt business. You don't come into the hurt business, man, and all of a sudden now I want to be so cautious that I'm in the ring not letting my hands go, and it doesn't suit you. And you're pretty much just asking to be knocked out. Now, for that to be the case, and you look at where these fighters stand, their win-loss record, like I said, who they win to against, who they lose against. When you look at all of that, Fury and AJ will still be more respected than Wilder. And the thing about that is, regardless to what comes out of Fury's mouth, we still can't, there's no clear win that he definitely beats AJ. You see, and this is the thing. And Fury knows that. And once again, here's a guy who already made his mind up that he wasn't going to fight AJ. There was no point in time that he ever really wanted to fight AJ. So to try to make it like, oh, because AJ lost to Dubois. Listen, I don't believe that had nothing to do with it. I feel like if AJ still, if he would have knocked Dubois out, that would have gave Fury more reason to not fight him. And these excuses he already made, for him to say the only way that he's going to fight AJ is for $500 million is overpricing himself on purpose because he don't want that fight. Which means even if they did give him $500 million, even if they, which they're not, but even if they had done it, it's very possible AJ would have knocked him out because he's only doing it for the money. He's only doing it for the money. And at the end of all of this back and forth, there's no guaranteed AJ win. Same dude was asked who wins between him and Fury, and he goes, only God knows. And I respect him for being honest, but at the same time, it's like, man, you sound soft saying that shit, man. You sound unsure of yourself. You know what I mean? And it's like, you can't doubt yourself. And AJ has shown that he doubts himself. Now, how the fuck can you take either one of them, look at what they've done, and then take Wilder and act shocked about anything Wilder's doing even right now? And as a Wilder fan, you should be you shouldn't even have to ask yourself. If you're just honest, you realize, damn, these motherfuckers been saying the right shit about us all along. We're delusional. What's so shocking about it? What's so shocking about it? And that's why I said if you go through Wilder's whole career and somebody asks you what you think this guy was ranked, you motherfuckers will be way off the mark. And you realize, damn, even when he was champion, he was fighting guys even ranked lower. Way lower. Way lower. So, I don't think that this fight is a fight where Wilder just want to win and then retire. Other than just some extra money, I don't see what this does for him. I told you guys Wilder didn't want no 3-4 fights. He knows he can't afford another loss. And like I said, the fighters I suggested are far better than this guy. And worst case scenario is, what if Wilder goes in there and loses to this guy? What if he goes in there and loses? Or what if he just struggles? What if he wins but struggles with this guy? What does that say for Wilder? So yeah, let's take the easiest fight that we can possibly make. There's no reason why he couldn't have fought Jermaine Franklin. So this lets you know that his confidence is way down. So my point is, Anthony Joshua shows that he's not confident. Wilder's showing you the same thing. Somehow you guys want to overlook it and act like you don't realize it and don't see it. When the fuck have AJ fought somebody ranked 148? I don't think AJ fought nobody ranked that damn low from his fucking debut on. Fury neither, for that matter. Fighting a guy at this stage in your career ranked 148. Okay, well, the problem is fanboys love to say things that make zero sense. And all we're basically telling you is real simple. These fighters are getting older. As you get older, you want to work smarter, not harder. If Wilder was fighting, there's not even if, the fact that he was fighting guys ranked even way lower than this when he was younger and champion, why are you shocked that at 38, 39 or whatever the fuck, 59, 79, whatever his age really is, why are you so shocked about him fighting a guy ranked this low now? And for you guys saying Wilder should retire, but yet you're cheering him on, if you yourself is saying he should retire, are you saying it because you think he's the same fighter or you think he's not the same fighter? And if you're applauding this fight, that means that you feel more comfortable with him fighting lower opposition. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Either you're going to make it or you're going to break it. But at the end of the day, y'all, these guys are coming to the end of their career. And AJ being the younger of all of them doesn't really matter, because if you're gonna doubt yourself and you got money, you don't need to fight anymore. I mean, you got things going on outside. This is why even when Wilder says that shit, I got business, smart investment, things I did outside of boxing, so I don't even need boxing. That's why it's like, well, why are you taking this fight then? And this is my point. If this is the fucking main event, and whatever they're paying Wilder, they're paying peanuts to the rest of this card. And we haven't even heard any other fight scheduled for this card. So that lets you know right there. And this is a BLK Prime, event. Like I said, he's resorting back to what he always did, fighting guys that weren't ranked. And like I said, should he win, let's say he knocked this guy out like he did Helenius in one round. So what? That means he's ready for primetime action. That means he's ready for top level guys if he knocked this guy out. Nah. So case in point, be looking for the new wave of fighters to come in. And you know what I'm sitting here laughing at? Now, one of the family earlier was saying they think that FA might beat Martin McCauley because he drops his left hand a lot. He does do that shit. And I think he does it on purpose a lot too, to lure guys in. And he's flat-footed. But FA is also just easy to hit, and especially when he starts exchanging, he stands straight up, he squares up, and he's just there to be hit. Now, the thing is, McCauley takes a punch way better than FA does. And McCauley is actually defensively better. He's more defensively responsible than FA. Now, regardless to who wins, what if that person calls out Wilder and Wilder doesn't fight them? After fighting a guy that's ranked 148, can Wilder say to that person, oh, well, I'm not going to make any money fighting you? Can Wilder say to that person, you're overpricing yourself? Or can Wilder make, say anything, or they haven't earned a shot? No, it's not about earning anything against Wilder. Wilder's in the position of trying to earn his way back. And this is where people try to use star power over other people. But what if McCauley says, Wilder, I just won my fight. You won your fight. Me and you next. What excuse would Wilder have to not fight McCauley? If FA won, why would Wilder not fight him? And this is the point what I'm saying. If they're trying to put Wilder in a position, or if he's trying to put himself in that position where he think beating this guy is somehow going to lead back to a Usyk or a Daniel Dubois, nah, man. I'm all about earning your spot. And for people, but you never know, he might go in there and land the right hand, right? Yeah, but I'm not into this kind of shit. I'm really not. And the reality of it all is when you have guys that beat guys, and then the guys that lose end up getting title shots and still getting more attention, I don't respect that. Honestly, if you didn't know, like if you would never think that Bivol will beat Canelo the way they talk about Canelo. And the excuses about, oh, he was too small, all of this shit, you would not think that he beat this guy already. But this is what I'm saying. And when you beat a person, you don't automatically just become a star overnight because you beat somebody. No, that's not the way it works. I'll tell you what, though. We'll see how things go. And if Wilder, like any real fighter, is put to the test with, okay, I ran over here. Okay, let's say he's with I ran across the street to make some money, little money, now I'm back, whatever. If he is going to get any shot at anybody worth a damn, he needs to have to go through somebody worth a damn to get there. And that's for anybody. And if they can't get the fights that I said, like with a Dillian White, like with a Joe Joyce, a Derek Chisora, I don't see why he wouldn't be able to get those fights. And I feel like all three of those guys would be definitely willing to fight him. But the fact that he chose somebody ranked 148 shows me this dude is not, he's no more confident in himself than AJ is in himself, and no more confident than Fury is in himself. And we've seen all three of them have that in common. I told y'all, Fury was not nearly as confident as he tried to make y'all think he was. All that shit he was doing, playing with sticking his face out, and all the shit he was saying about Usyk and his father headbutting Usyk's team member, and him getting in Usyk's face, trying to shove Usyk with his head, and Usyk not backing down. I could clearly see this was eating him up. And I told you, he's not nearly as confident as he's trying to pretend. Did I not? Confidence issue. He don't want to fight Anthony Joshua, make every excuse to not fight him. talked about it right there at the press conference, right there face to face with Usyk. Okay? So his confidence in him beating AJ is not the same. AJ showing lack of confidence, even when he was asked, how are you going to beat Dubois? And he goes, well, not with just power. I have to use all my skills and all, right? He just, and it's like, even asked that, to answer the question the way he did. And we've seen him show that he questions himself. Wilder is delusional and will say shit like, AJ doubts himself too much. Yeah, you're right, but so do you. Your choice of opponents shows that. Because you could have easily said, fuck it, I'm going to fight Jermaine Franklin. Why didn't you do that? Why are you fighting this guy? Just saying, y'all. So all three of those guys are showing you confidence issues. The problem is, AJ openly says shit that shows it. Okay, and doesn't have a problem with saying the things he say. Fury says things and shows it, but he tries to do it in an arrogant way and try to talk like he's so much better than everybody else. Wilder does the same exact shit. He tries to camouflage it and talk about flaws in other people as if he's better than they are, but then he goes and fight guys that's not ranked and shit like this. So they all have confidence issues in common. And the reality is, when you choose to fight a guy ranked 148 in the world, for you to call somebody, say somebody ducked, somebody's afraid, or they don't want to fight, or are you talking about all this Mandingo warrior shit and dressing up in African gear and all that, it's obvious you don't have that confidence that you speak of. Otherwise, you'd be in there fighting a much more respectable opponent. This guy's not respected at all. That's all I got for you guys right now. Catch you on the next video. Remember, never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.